Hey, what's going on, guys? Colin here with Red Beans and Dice, and today I have most of the cat hair picked off my shirt, and I got my blueberry lavender lotion on my hands, so that means one thing, another playthrough of a Zombicide game. So today we're going to be continuing on with Night of the Living Dead. We're going to be playing Scene 2, and it is a Zombicide game, so don't worry. It's based off George A. Romero's 1968 horror film classic, Night of the Living Dead. And scene 2 is labeled, Is There a Key? Which is a very good question. I'll go ahead and read you the introduction, I'll give you the objective, the special rules, and then I also have some expansion characters, 4 of them, that I am not going to quite bust into yet. We're going to use the same starting core 6 survivors for this scene. So a little later on, I'll jump in and bust open a couple of those expansion characters so that you can see some of their abilities and some of their new features that they have available. But for now, just the starting core 6 survivors. So let's get the camera flipped around and you can check out the board. And before I forget, happy Thanksgiving. Scene 2. Is there a key? It's going to be easy and 45 minutes. It is bad news everywhere. Ghouls have spread throughout the region, murdering and eating their victims. The ghoul army from Beekman's Diner shows up and surrounds the house. Despite their differences, the survivors look for the pump's key while holding back the ghouls. The car outside may be the only way out of this nightmare. All right, so if you noticed, it's actually the same setup from scene 1 with a couple different things going on. We have the, what is that, the melee deck over here, and then the range deck over here. And I actually am putting the cards in the room, which may cause a little bit of trouble if I try to get too many people in there searching them. But for the most part, this is a little bigger over here for the melee, but this is just actually one little room up here for the ranged weapons. So we'll see if that becomes a problem. I don't think it should be, but there is that. I'm just trying something new here. So, all right, so we have the board set up. All the windows are barricaded. We have our survivors all starting at this point. We have the stairs closing up the room to the ranged weapons, so we'll have to open that up with an action, then get in there. And a new thing with this Zombicide game is that this white spawn zone right over here is actually going to be the first spawn zone. So wherever that's at, that's going to be where you spawn first for the ghouls. And then you'll just go clockwise. So this will be 1, 2, 3, so it lets you know where you're supposed to spawn first, which isn't a big deal, but it's the little things that I appreciate, so there's that. All right, so we have our board set up here, nothing really else going on with the tiles. So our objective is going to be looking for the pump's key. The game is won as soon as the house equipment deck is exhausted. The survivors have found the pump key at last. The game is lost whenever there is one ghoul in the house at the end of a player's phase. Got it. So I cannot let any of these ghouls in the house. So if they get in, I have to kill them right away. And then at the end of all my players' phase, I can't have any of them in there. So that's going to be a little tricky. Now the house deck is going to be this deck of cards right here, the brown one. So I have to get through all of those cards, which, you know, there's a nice little fat stack of them, so that'll be a little tricky. And then also in that deck, there are going to be relative cards that when I draw, they are actually going to put a relative ghoul into the square that I actually searched from. So that is going to be a problem. I definitely don't want to use my last action to search, because if one of those pops up and they're in the room at the end of my player's phase, it's not going to be good. I lose. So we're trying not to do that. So there is that. That's the objective. And then we have some special rules. Survivors start in Romero mode with their Romero ID face up. And I have all of my survivors over here. I'll let you look at them when I show my starting equipment right over there. So Romero mode is going to be these gray models. Zombicide, Night of the Living Dead actually comes with 2 models for each character, or survivor, I should say, excuse me. And the Romero mode, which lets your survivor not do as much, is going to be with the gray right here. And then as soon as indicated through special rules or different situations, you're going to be able to flip it over into Zombicide mode, where, as you can see, you can use so much more of your abilities and you're just more of a threat to the ghouls. So we're going to start out with Romero mode for all of our survivors. as the rules indicated. Okay, so survivors starting in Romero mode with their Romero ID face up, obviously. Trusting each other. Any survivor giving the Winchester 94, starting equipment to another survivor with a reorganized trade action may switch to Zombicide mode. Equipment stashes. The melee and ranged equipment decks can only be searched in designated zones only while in Zombicide mode. So that's what I was talking about. These are the zones right there, and the stairs, and then the little, I don't know, that's a garage, I suppose. So they have to be in survivor mode, and they have to be in that room to search through the designated melee or ranged equipment. So that's going to be it. So let's jump into our starting equipment that I'm going to be giving out to our survivors. So for Harry, I went ahead and I picked out the crowbar for Harry. So I like the crowbar. It does 2 damage as opposed to the 1 damage that all the other starting equipment does. The 2 damage will be able to kill the fatties, so that's really good. They only give you 1 of these, and then it can also open a barricade if I need to. Now, closing a barricade, I do not need this card. Anybody can close a barricade, but if I want to open it to say get outside for some reason to do something, this little green icon in the upper left-hand corner is what I'm going to be looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to Harry right there, so booyah. Now Barbara, I'm going to go ahead and just give her a basic table leg, which is just melee, 1 dice, 4 higher, 1 damage. You can turn it into a, I forget what it is, get a torch, that's what it is. It says right there. So if I get a little bit of flammable fluid, I can go ahead and turn it into a torch, which does 2 damage, which is just a huge upgrade. And I'm going to give that to Barbara, not Ben. Okay. So for Ben, because he has the Hawkeye ability, I am going to go ahead and give him the Winchester 94. And that is going to be the weapon that you can, if I give it to another survivor with a trade action, I can turn them, or I can't remember if it's me or them, into Zombicide mode to make them more of an effective fighter. So there is that. And then if you read the bottom down here, the survivor that starts with this weapon also gets the table legs. So, and if I get a scope through the house deck, I can use a free action to discard this with the scope, and then I get the scoped Winchester, which, to be honest, it's not that much better. I think it just gives it a little more range, maybe an extra dice. We'll look at that if we get there. So put that right in there, and as indicated, he's going to go ahead and get a table leg also. And then for Tom, I don't have too many more options left. I'm going to go ahead and pick out the hammer claw for Tom, and we'll put that right in his inventory. And then once again, in the upper left-hand corner, it has the break barricade symbol. Nothing too special with the attack power and damage. 1 dice, 4 or higher, 1 damage. And last but not least, we have Judy and Helen. For Judy, I'm going to go ahead and give the table leg to her. And 1 dice, 4 or higher, 1 damage, and then it can be dual wielded. That's what that little symbol in the upper right-hand corner means. And then if I get flammable fluid, I can turn it into a torch. And then the tire iron is what I'm going to give to Helen. And it can break through barricades as indicated with the symbol in the upper left-hand corner. 1 dice, 4 or higher, 1 damage. And that's our starting equipment for all of our survivors. The first survivor I'm going to activate is going to be Ben right here in the orange. And if you remember, Ben has the Winchester 94. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Ben, and I'm going to do a trade action. So I can trade with anybody in this room. And I'm going to go ahead and give the 95 to Barbara. And then if you remember in the special rules, any survivor giving the Winchester 94 starting equipment to another survivor with a reorganized trade action may switch to Zombicide mode. So Ben is going to go ahead and switch right into Zombicide mode, and I'll replace his model. And then I will go ahead and take his Romero Mode ID and flip it over into Badass Ben mode. So there we go. So he is in Zombicide mode. I've put his model to the side, and as you can see, we have this nice little colorful one right here. Now that was his first action. So with his second action, I'm going to move in here, and I'm going to search this room, and I'm going to search the house deck. So with Ben's search action, I went ahead and drew out of the house deck and I got the flashlight. So draw 2 cards when you search, maybe used in the backpack. Perfect, great. So that's Ben's third action. I'm gonna go ahead and put that into his backpack spot. Now with Barbara, I am actually going to move her in the red. Let's see here. I'm gonna go 1, and I'm going to actually use a trade, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab that flashlight from Ben. So draw 2 cards, maybe used in your backpack. I'm gonna put that into Barbara's spot. So that was a move action, that's 1. And then the trade action is 2. And then I'm gonna search with my third action, and because I have the flashlight, I get to go ahead and draw 2 cards. And I got plenty of bullets and the scope, which is actually really, really good. So plenty of bullets lets me reroll all attacks with bullet weapons. So I'll put that into my backpack. She actually does have the Winchester 94, which is great. And then if you see up here, along with the Winchester 94, the survivor receives a scoped Winchester, maybe used in the backpack spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this and the Winchester, and I am going to discard these. And then there is a crafting aspect in this game. I'm gonna go ahead and take these cards and find the scoped Winchester, which is right here. And as you can see there, it has a range of 1 to 3, and then sniper, you can choose your target. So that's what makes it special. So we'll go ahead and equip that to Barbara. So far a good search round. And that'll be it for Barbara's turn. And then next up, I'm gonna go ahead and activate Tom, and I'm gonna move him right up here. And I'm going to search right here. And he got boards. Now, boards let you discard this to gain 3 experience. Right now I don't want to do that. So gaining experience in Zombicide is kind of a double-edged sword. So it's good because your players can become more effective at killing ghouls, but at the same time, you're going to be spawning much more difficult ghouls at each one of these zones when their turns come up. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right into Tom's backpack spot. And with his third action, you know what? I'm gonna just sit right there, not going anywhere. Now up next, I'm gonna go ahead and activate Judy. And with Judy, I'm gonna move into here, and I'm actually going to get the flashlight from Barbara, who is in the red there. So move that right over to Judy's backpack spot. And then for her third action, I'm gonna go ahead and search in here with two different cards that I get to draw. So right up here, we got plenty of shells. I don't have a shell weapon like a shotgun, and then boards. I'll put those in my backpack for Judy, and that is gonna be the end of Judy's turn. 3 actions right there. Move, trade, search, that's 3. So last but not least, we have Tom and Helen up. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and move Helen right up here. And then I haven't drawn a relative card yet, so I'm getting a little nervous. I am going to go ahead and draw for her. Oh, okay, so set a relative in the zone, then discard this card. So the relatives are gonna be these little red models right here, which are family members or friends, and they cause horror. So whenever I do that, I believe that everybody goes back into Zombicide mode until that relative is dead. So Ben is actually going to go back into Romero mode, and I'm going to go ahead and flip his card back into there. But as soon as that relative dies, then everybody that was in Zombicide mode will go back to, everyone that's in Romero mode will go back to Zombicide mode. That is how I think that works. So let me know if I'm playing that wrong. I think I got it right, but I've been wrong before. So that was my first action to move into here with Helen. Second action was to search. I got this relative card right here. So I am going to, with my last action, try and use Helen's tire iron, which I need a 4 higher to kill the relative over there. And I got a 3, so that does not work. So I'll go ahead and end her turn. Now this is scary because I only have Tom left. Or excuse me, I only have, who is this? Harry. So Harry's going to move 1 right up here. That's his first action. Now with his second action, I'm going to go ahead and roll this dice right here. And he has the crowbar, excuse me, 1 dice, 4 or higher, 2 damage. So I got a 1. It's not looking good. Now with my third action, I'm going to go ahead and try to kill that, because remember, if there's a ghoul inside there, when my player phase ends, it's going to go ahead and I'm going to lose the game. So I really got to roll a 4 or higher on this one. Okay, I got a 5, thank Jesus. So that relative is dead. Harry is going to go ahead and gain 1 experience. So also, I have this from the extra content, the expansion characters that I got with the game. The survivor cannot switch back to Zombicide mode, Karen's trowel, 5 dice, 5 or higher, 2 damage. And then if you look on the back, it says that the first survivor to kill a relative ghoul gets this card. Then the survivor may reorganize their inventory for free. So I'm going to go ahead and give this to Harry. And that was his last turn. That was very scary. I almost lost the scenario there. So, yep, there is that. And then I killed the ghoul, the relative ghoul. So that means that Tom is actually going to go, excuse me, Ben is going to go back into Zombicide mode from Romero mode. And then that is going to be the end of my turn. So no ghouls in the area. And then we're going to spawn for each one of these spawn locations, starting with the white one. So we'll take one of these, and we're still in the blue. So that's going to be 1 walker right there. Boom. And then we're going to spawn for that location right up there. And we have, what is this? Barricades and door openings. Okay, not what I wanted to see. So that means that any zombie, or excuse me, ghoul that is next to a barricade or door token is going to go ahead and open those right away. So this is a walker, and this is the zone she's in. So that means that this window is going to open, and then this door is going to crack. So these are actually separate ones, so this one would not be open. Just these 2 right here. And that is the spawn card for that location. And, oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I was reading that wrong. We're still in the blue. God, I can't read. So nothing happened. So we actually got out of there. Got out of there free. So perfect. Okay, great, 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 great. All right, on to this one. I was trying to make it more difficult for myself. Draw over there. Okay, so relatives. So 1 relative, survivor, shift to Romero ID. Since we're in the blue, nothing happens. So that was a really, really chill, easy spawn draw. I almost made it harder for myself by opening that, but we're still in the blue, so we are good to go. So it's on to our player activation, and I am very scared because last time I almost got killed by the relative Karen poor baby card, which was god-awful. It came down to the wire with Harry. I almost lost it on the first turn. So let's see if we can not do that again. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and search in this room, and I'm going to search with, let me see here, Judy. So Judy has the flashlight, and I am, let's see here, yeah, Judy has the flashlight. Or actually, no, excuse me. Barbara is going to be activating first, and Barbara's in the red. Barbara is going to go ahead and give the Winchester to, let's see here, Judy. So Judy is going to take that, and then Judy is going to also give the flashlight to Barbara. So when I gave that to Judy, it's going to go ahead and put her into Zombicide mode. That's it for that action. That was her first action. It was a trade action. So now I have the flashlight with Judy, and for my second action, I'm going to go ahead and search in this room and see what I can get. So I'll search with the flashlight so I get 2 cards. So I have gone ahead and drawn the meat hook and flammable fluid, which is really good. And right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and put the meat hook into my hand spot for Barbara. And then with my second action, or actually no, it's a free action, I'm going to take the flammable fluid and I'm going to go ahead and use it with the table leg, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a torch for myself. So the torch is once again in the craftable items deck here. And the torch is really good because it does 2 damage, 3 or higher, 2 dice. And this doesn't cost an action for me to create that, so I'll go ahead and put that into Barbara's deck, excuse me, her hand, so she equips it. She has 1 more action left. I'm just going to crack that door right there. And since I got 2 guys in Zombicide mode, I can go ahead and search in here if I want to. So there is that. So that's going to be it for Barbara's turn. I think she traded. Actually, she has 1 more. And let's see here. Or actually, no, excuse me. Barbara would have gone into Zombicide mode, and Judy would still be in Romero mode. So that is how that would work. I messed that one up there. Okay. So that is it for Barbara. I'm actually going to move into here with her, and then I'm going to, so I searched, or I traded, I searched, and I'm just going to move in here with Barbara. And that'll be it for her turn. Now, next up, I'm going to go ahead and activate Judy, and I'm going to search in this room. So we will grab one of these cards, and oh god, okay, so we're going to have to spawn another relative in that room, and that will revert everybody back to Zombicide, or Romero mode, excuse me. So the relative is going to spawn right there, and I'm getting through this house deck, but it's taken a little bit. So that was Judy's first action. She has the table leg, so that's going to be 1 dice, 4 or higher, and I'm going to try to kill this little girl right here. And I got a 5, so great. That goes away. And then Judy's going to gain 1 experience, and she has gone, let's see here, Barbara is going to go back into Zombicide mode. And then Ben is going to go back into Zombicide mode. So that is going to be it for her. She still has 1 other action, but you know what? I'm just going to leave her right there as is. So next up, we're going to go ahead and use Ben. And I'm going to go move 1 into here. And I'm going to use my second action to search through here. And I got a chainsaw. Okay, awesome. So Ben has the chainsaw, 5 dice, 5 or higher, 2 damage. Great. Good weapon. We'll put that in there, and then he's going to pop back out here with his third action. Up here, I'm going to go ahead and search with Tom for my first action. So he's going to search the house deck, and Tom got boards, which is just the 3 experience that is going to be given if you use it. You can use it in your backpack, doesn't cost an action, so there is that. And then Tom is going to move back into here with his second action, and his third action, I'm just going to forfeit it. Leave him to his own devices. Now, next up, I'm going to go ahead and activate Helen, and I'm going to search the house deck with her. And I got the flashlight. Okay, so that's really good. Once again, draw 2 cards, maybe used in the backpack. So I'll put that right up there. And then with her second action, I'm going to go ahead and give the flashlight to Harry. So Harry can search and get 2 item cards. And then he has the Karen's trowel. So hopefully he can do some damage if I get another relative card in there. So I'm just trying to get through the house deck before things get a little too hairy. And that is my, no joke intended, that's Harry. So things get a little too hairy. I don't know if you guys got that one or not, but anyway, I'll shut up. So that's going to be it for Helen. and I'm just going to leave her right up there. I think she has one action. If not, I'm just going to leave her there. Then next up, I got Harry, and since he has the flashlight now, I am going to go ahead and search. And Harry got 2 mason jars. Go Harry. All right, so if I have flammable fluid, I can get rid of it and then make a Molotov out of the crafting deck, and I can use it in the backpack spot. But as of now, I'm just going to throw it up in there, and you know what? That's going to be it for Harry. I'm just going to let him sit right there. So now we're going to go back onto our ghoul spawn. So we'll start right here with the white one. And we got fatties. Okay, so we're still in the blue, so that's going to be 1 put right there. Boom, that's all that does. Next up, we are going to spawn for that location right over there. And we got relatives. Okay, we're still in the blue, so no relatives. Awesome. And we're going to do this location right over there. So grab that, and another relative card. Okay, so I did shuffle that deck, but they seem to be coming in relative mode and door breakers, but we're still in the blue, so we're still good to go. So that's it for our ghoul spawn. So we're back onto the survivors. First off, I'm going to go ahead and move Barbara right out here. And then with the flashlight, I'm going to go ahead and search, and I get 2 cards. Okay, we got boards, which we know what that does. And then we have plenty of shells. So I don't have any weapons with the shell symbol, and then the boards, I'm actually going to go ahead and disregard both of these. I'm going to throw them away. I don't have any backpack spots, and you can choose when you want to use them and when you want to just discard them for a free action right away. So I'm going to put those off to the side. And then for my last action, I'm going to go ahead and give Ben the flashlight right there. So that's going to give me the ability to search for 2 cards with Ben. So let's grab 2 of these. I know we have a couple more relative cards in here, and speak of the devil, there they are. So Ben's going to put that board into his backpack spot, and then we have a Karen Poor Baby card, which is very creepy, very creepy. So I'll actually use the one that looks like her, and I'll put it right into there. Everybody reverts back into Zombicide mode, Romero mode, I believe, just like that. And then Ben still has 2 actions. So I'm going to go ahead and take his chainsaw, and I just need a 5 or higher with this bad boy. 5 dice, 5 or higher, 2 damage. Relatives, ghouls, relatives, walkers, and breakers only need 1 damage, so this is overkill kind of. So I rolled very well. I got more than 1. This goes away. Ben is going to go ahead and get an experience point. And he has 1 more action left. I'm going to go ahead and give the flashlight on to, let's see here, Judy. And then as I killed that relative, Ben and Barbara are going to go back into Zombicide mode. Okay, awesome. So with Judy's flashlight that she got from Ben, I'll get the names right here one of these days. She's going to go ahead and search, and she gets 2 cards because she has the flashlight. And I got the scope, and oh, okay, I got the I got the poor baby card. So that's going to be another. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to disregard. I'm going to get rid of the scope. I don't need it. And then I'm going to have to put another relative card right in this area. So that is that. So she still has 2 actions left, and then we need to get rid of this ghoul right there so we can not lose the scenario, or the scene, excuse me. So she has the table leg. It's going to be 4 or higher, and I got to roll a 4 or higher to kill the relative, and I got a 4. Perfect. Great. Dead. And Judy's going to go up to 2 experience, just gains 1 from that relative. And with her last action, you know what? I think I think she's just gonna stay put. Or actually, no, I'll move Judy over here. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Seems like a good idea. So next up, I'm gonna activate Tom. Tom is gonna go ahead and search from the house deck. We only have a couple more cards. So let's see what we get. Plenty of shells. Tom's gonna put that into his backpack spot. And with his last two actions, you know what? I'm just gonna have him chill right there. So next up, I'm gonna activate Helen, and I'm gonna search with Helen out of the house deck. So I got plenty of bullets. That is not gonna do much for me. I'm gonna go ahead and put that into her backpack spot. And then with her last two activations, I am gonna go ahead and just forfeit it. So we just need to get through the deck. That's the main goal. And then last up, but not least, we got Harry, the Mason Jar Harry. And he is gonna go ahead and with the flashlight, he's gonna search and he's gonna get 2 cards. And he got plenty of bullets and boards. I'm gonna go ahead and disregard both of those. He has a full backpack and no hand spots available. So we only have one more house deck card down here, and that's it for our players phase. So we're gonna go ahead and spawn for the ghouls right over here. And since we are not in the yellow, nothing happens for the relatives. And then we're gonna spawn right up there. And we got 3 walkers right up there. That is what that means. Boom. Oh, this guy is cool. He's got little bullet hole wounds in him. Really good details on the models. I didn't even notice that. And then over here, we're gonna spawn for that location. And we got breakers. Okay, these are the guys that I'm kind of scared about a little bit. So I'm gonna put one over there, and when they activate, instead of just sitting there like the normal ghouls do, they're actually gonna go ahead and break the door down. So, yep, there's that guy right there. He's got a brick. And you know what? It's looking pretty close. I think we got this one in hand. So first up, I'm gonna go ahead and activate Helen, and I'm gonna search, and I'm gonna grab the last card out of the house deck, and it's gonna be flammable fluid. So nothing much there. I'm gonna go ahead and put that into her backpack. And then that is the scenario. Very easy. I feel like the first one was a little more difficult, but we got the house empty. We have gone through the house deck. There are no more cards. We searched through it very fast. The flashlight really helped give us 2 cards. We almost died up there, but luckily, I can't remember who it was, Helen or Harry, took care of that relative. It came down to the last roll. That was actually very scary. I thought I was gonna lose pretty quickly. So there's my playthrough of Is There a Key? Scene 2. Stay tuned for Scene 3. That's it for my playthrough. Thank you so much for watching my video, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Talk to you later.